and welcome to Carbon Footprints, a program that explores the impact of human activities on the planet. I am Edidiong Ibanga, and today we'll take a closer look at how our daily choices affect our planet, the devastating effects of oil spills in the Niger Delta region, and the ban on the use of Styrofoam. Energy consumption is a major driver of our carbon footprint. From powering our homes to fueling our cars, it releases greenhouse gases that impact the environment.
Olabode Showunmi is my name. I'm consultant to the House Committee on Power. I'm chairman of the study group in Nigerian Gas Association, one of the study groups there. I'm also CEO of Cap3 Limited, which is an energy consulting outfit. In the very first instance, Africa contributes less than 5% of emissions that is contaminating the airspace. And when you remove the mines in Southern Africa and all that, it contributes less than 3%. So even though you say we are reliant on fossil fuel, our contribution to contaminating the atmosphere is negligible. That must be first put in perspective. The second part is that, yes, we are reliant on fossil fuel, but so is everywhere else in the world, including the people who are most vocal about the issues. So there was a joke that was said about the last COP. The two COP, that's the Conference of Parties to reduce emissions and all that. They said they should cut the world emissions by a certain percentage and all that. And at the end of the meeting, all of them were flying home. All planes use fossil fuel. I'm not sure there's anybody yet who wants to fly a plane that runs on battery or that runs on solar. Because if there's a cloud and there's no light, there's nowhere to park the plane in the middle. So the fundamentals is that in terms of us as a people, our fossil fuel emissions is, compared to the rest of the world, is negligible. Yes, solar does reduce fossil fuel emissions, but not throughout the total value chain, because there are a lot of things in those solar panels and how it is produced that are dependent on fossil fuel. There are materials within the solar panel that are made from fossil fuel. Every plastic material there is from fossil fuel. And apart from the polyvoltaic cells, that the PVC cells, the panels itself that converts light to electricity, so many things they are made from fossil fuel. So when you say reduce carbon print by solar, it is an alternative form of energy. It is not necessarily clean because it goes through a cycle to produce it there. The same thing for wind. Those long blades, which are fiber, which are thick, are products of the petroleum system. So in terms of a balance, in terms of maybe immediate contribution of CO2 into the atmosphere, it reduces it. But in terms of the total life cycle of producing the product, it may not necessarily be reducing it.
However, energy consumption is not the only issue. Oil spills in the Niger Delta region have had a devastating impact on the environment and local communities.
Now, when it comes to the issue of corrosion, where you discover that oil, the pipeline has burst, or pipeline, there is oil activities. The issue under contention is what really created this so-called environmental pollution. It is always under contention. While the locals are saying that the pipelines are corroded, the pipelines are aged. In fact, you barely see where most of these pipelines are renewed. These pipelines, some of them have been buried for a period of 50 years. Some of them have been buried for a period of 40 years. Some of them have been buried for a period of 30 years without renewal and without maintenance.
The environmental damage is catastrophic. Rivers once teemed with fishes are now barren. Fertile farmlands have turned into wasteland, leaving communities without food or income. The health impacts is equally alarming, with the rise in respiratory illness, cancer, and disease linked to oil contamination.
Basically, most of the effects have been attributed to mostly respiratory diseases, skin diseases, and of course cancers. The results of some of the studies that have been carried out are not very conclusive, but obviously an increase in the number of cases of various types of cancers. Aside that, it has affected the function of our people, particularly when you talk about our activities, farming, fishing, and the like. So waters can no longer, bear the kind of fishes they used to, habit, and even the airways, the various types of birds, insects, and all that have also been decimated. And of course, it affects even the fauna, that is the vegetation.
Another important step in reducing carbon footprints is waste reduction. The National Council on Environment implemented a nationwide ban on the use of Styrofoam, a major contributor to plastic waste.
13th order of the day is a motion on need to ban the use and distribution of Styrofoam and single-use plastic across the country. Standing in the name of Honorable Mokhtar Shagaya. Honorable Shagaya is invited to move the motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My distinguished, honorable, reliable, and ever resilient colleagues, I remain Honorable Mukhtar Tolani Shagaya. I represent Nigerians, starting from Ilorin West, Asa, Federal Constituency of Kwara State.
Honorable Jimmy, approach the chair.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move a motion on the need to ban the use of and distribution of Styrofoam and single-use plastics across the country. Mr. Speaker, the House notes that the provisions of Section 20 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, place a responsibility on the federal government to protect and improve the environment for present and future generations, and ensure the health and well-being of its citizens. The House also notes that the increasing use of Styrofoam and single-use plastics in Nigeria poses significant environmental and public health risks, including pollution of waterways, soil, and air quality. The House further notes that chemicals found in Styrofoam is linked to health issues such as cancer, vision and hearing loss, impaired memory and concentration, and nervous system effects. Honorable colleagues, the House is aware that Styrofoam is prohibited in Taiwan, Rwanda, England, and many other European countries, together with some towns and states in the United States. Currently, the product is illegal in our very own Lagos and Abia states. The House is also aware that alternatives to Styrofoam and single-use plastics, such as biodegradable materials, reusable containers, and recyclable packaging can reduce environmental impact and public health risks. The House is concerned that the increasing use of Styrofoam and single-use plastics in Nigeria not only leads to the increased plastic waste and environmental pollution, but also poses significant health risks. The House is cognizant that the need to address the environmental and public health crises posed by Styrofoam and single-use plastics to safeguard the future of Nigeria's natural resources, ecosystems, health, and well-being of its citizens. Therefore, the House resolves to 1. Urge the federal government to ban the production, importation, distribution, and use of Styrofoam and single-use plastics throughout Nigeria. 2, also urge the federal government to implement a phased approach to the ban by providing sufficient time for businesses and industries to transition to alternative, eco-friendly materials and practices. 3, also urge the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, and other relevant agencies to monitor the quality of packaging of foods and beverages, particularly in fast-moving consumer goods, FMCGs, ensuring global best practices are followed and all appropriate regulations guiding the whole process are adhered to. And finally, mandate the House Committee on Health Services, Environment, and Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
At least 2 states in Nigeria have implemented the ban. Lagos State has enforced an existing ban on single-use plastic and styrofoam containers, with the Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Tokumbo Wahab, issuing a 3-week moratorium for stakeholders to exhaust their existing stock.
We are not banning pure water. Even the single-use plastics, it's 40 micron gauge that we're looking at. But for pure water, because of delicate nature, and for those it's serving, we have deliberately messaged it, and I'm repeating it now. We shall buy back pure water sachet. For 12 months, we've been doing our own back-end engagements. And February, it's one of the critical stakeholders. So what we've agreed to do is, before we go into full enforcement, let us continue the engagement and the advocacy with them. Because there's no way we're going to enforce that it will not affect them one way or the other, as businesses, as manufacturers, as even suppliers.
The ministry has done a lot of work on that. Styrofoam has been banned by Lagos State government since January 2024. We intend to continue on other single-use plastics. The Styrofoam that was banned, we know that some say find a way to sneak it into the market. And we have our officials visiting the market and applying the appropriate sanctions wherever we find them. We are aware about the dangers Styrofoam brings to humanity in terms of environmental and health hazards, challenges.
In accordance with the Team Plus agenda prioritized by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and particularly addressing the pillars of health and environment, which is the age and number 2 on the Governor's 6-point agenda. We are launching and flagging off this comprehensive campaign to educate and sensitize the public on the environmental hazard posed by styrofoam, containers, and single-use plastics. This campaign seeks to encourage a shift towards sustainable alternatives, highlighting the critical nature. Our target audience are you that we have under this room, the stakeholders, the Association of Food Vendors, the Association of Event Planners, also the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, all local government areas receptive to environmental education and open to adopt sustainable practices.
On the other hand, Abia State has also followed suit, banning the use of styrofoam. Meanwhile, in an interview with residents in the FCT, some have raised concerns on the ban, calling on governments to provide more sustainable alternatives. However, some claim not to be aware of the new policy.
Before they say they want to ban the plate, they have reasons. So without reasons, they cannot say they will ban it. So we still plead with them to help us. If they want to bring another things that we will use, they should not bring the one that is expensive. So they should bring the one, even the poor people, they can afford to use it.
No, but I don't have any alternative in mind, but what I know, I just want the government to improve. They should bring another plastic so that our business will go more further, and so that people will be coming to our place to come and buy our plantain and beans. Me, I will not like they should ban the plastic, because if they bound it, it will affect our business. So I don't like it. Let's just be managing it like that.
I'm by name Juliet Dajin. I'm a businesswoman. So you people told us that the government wants to ban the using of nylon and plastic cup. So we don't know what to do. If that should be the case, let them provide a solution for us so that we can now say, okay, as they provide another one for us, we can continue to obey them and tell them that there is no problem about that. But this one that they didn't provide anything for us, they want to ban it, it will affect our business seriously. And look at what we are suffering. We have never covered from all these places that they demolish. We are suffering from one another to any different, so we don't know what to do again. If they provide anything apart from that nylon, that is what we are going to be using, we will obey them and be using that one. So this one that they want to ban it, and we have not seen any thing that they provide for us that, okay, we the business people see what the people will be using. Then they will now ban the nylon, then we can start using that one that they provide for us.
Me, I don't know. I don't tell with that government self. If they want ban am, how we go take do? Because now him will use the serve people with am. So what if they want ban am, how we go take do? So they get another alternative where they want give us. Government man they even give us money and every time. Now one thing. We don't tie with the government self.
Okay, so you get any alternative in mind where you possibly them bring us so it go help you?
I don't know. Now they know now. Nobody them want ban am. May they find the alternative bring abeg.
May they no ban them because Noah, they come out every day. At least they help me to give me food each and every day because this is the source of what I'm doing. There is no other option for me. So far this time is concerned. But even with that, it help me. Although the thing they hard for me, it make me. I say to work out not easy, but at least it help me. So may they no ban them, please, so that for my own survivor, and even for those who see do it, because if you look at the line on now, many people are involved in it, so that a lot of people involved in so that the interest not to come out as it's supposed to be, because a lot of people are engaged in this business now. So big, buy now.
The thing go affect us well, because that nylon dey help us, the plastic dey help us, the paper take away dey help us, and that plastic wey dey help us too, we dey sell that plastic, and it's not everybody that will have 200 naira to buy plastic take away after you buy food, because there is no money in this country now. So if they want to ban all those three things, they have to find one alternative to give us good things that we will be using, not the one that will be expensive. Because this nylon now, some people used to come to buy food. If they say they don't have money for plastic takeaway, they will just say put it inside nylon and wrap it. So it's not everybody that can bring plates from house to come and buy food. Some are going to their office, they will just stop, they buy with nylon, with the void paper, then they take to their office to go and eat. So government have to do something. If they buy those three things, so we the marketers, we cannot sell without those three things.
That's all on today's episode. Remember, every action counts, and by working together, we can make a significant impact by reducing our carbon footprints. Thanks for watching. I am Edidiong Ibanga. See you next week.